What's going on, guys? We are now in the month of October. We got through September. Typically a bad month for Bitcoin, typically a bad month for crypto. We're going to talk about what's to come for Bitcoin, for alts. I want to go over some Metaplanet news. It's rising up in the ranks in terms of Bitcoin treasury. It is now the fourth largest holder among publicly traded companies. They just made a $600 million purchase, buying 5,268 Bitcoin, now holding 30,823 Bitcoin. They acquired this Bitcoin on the 1st of October. Their holdings altogether now are valued at about $3.6 billion, and their average cost is $108,000 per Bitcoin. Public companies now hold over 1 million Bitcoin, or about 4.7% of the total supply, $116 billion worth. And this number will only grow. Now I'll leave that down below for you. I'll also leave this down below. This is bitcointreasuries.net. It shows you the companies, what they hold. You can see that Metaplanet has risen the ranks. It is number 4, as they said. But scrolling down a bit, you'll see that entities holding Bitcoin, this number continues to grow. In the last 30 days, we've seen 25 new entrants to this list. 338 entities now holding Bitcoin, whether it's public companies, exchanges, governments, ETFs, and so on. And Bitcoin in treasuries, 3.8 million Bitcoin locked away. And this is continuing to grow as well. We're having a pretty good day today for Bitcoin miners, Bitcoin, the altcoins. Bitcoin's up pretty nice after it was able to clear the 50 MA. And we ended September green. September started here at around 107,000 or so. We had a decent trend throughout most of September until we broke the 50 MA and broke this support line. You got that clear reaction. September nearly ended up break even, basically. And then those last couple of days of September pushed it back over the 50 MA. Bitcoin's now at 117,000. I'm curious if the market is going to still react on this after it was now broken. Does this become a resistance for a short period? Do we react when we break back in it? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But now that we're over the 50 MA, that's a great sign. Reclaimed that pretty nicely after we broke it and we saw the reaction on the break and the resistance there. Now it's a matter of Bitcoin clearing basically this 118,000 recent top and working its way to all-time high. It's only about a 6% move away from all-time high. I am pretty confident in this, that Bitcoin will see new all-time highs throughout October and as we end this year. Let's take a look at past cycles and see what we typically get. September tends to be a bad month. In the 2021 peak, we did see a bad September. And then what follows? October. Uptober. Bitcoin rallied very nicely throughout October and ended that cycle at a new all-time high. Peaked in early November. October and November were pretty great months, and Bitcoin topped out in the 2021 cycle. Looking at the 2017 cycle, we did see a rough September. The middle of September, we saw a flash crash down to $3,000. Came back, recovered quite a bit, but the real great month was October, November, and December. Bitcoin ended that cycle, the 2017 cycle, in December, topped out there at nearly $20,000 mid-December. October, November, and December were great months for Bitcoin. Going to 2013, we also saw a flash crash in September, and then we rallied throughout October, November, and part of December. Bitcoin topped out on the 4th, 5th of December at about $1,100. Saw a fantastic October and November. Every cycle in a peak year, typically we top out right towards the end, whether it's like November or December. We always see a fantastic October. I expect no different here. My cycle peak target of $150,000 for Bitcoin is about a 26% move away, and I do think Bitcoin is on its way to set that new all-time high, hit $150,000 this cycle. But I guess we'll see over the next couple of months if Bitcoin can handle moving a 26% move. Past cycles have seen a lot more than that. We do have diminishing returns as Bitcoin gets bigger. Its moves will be more tame, but its drops will also be less too, which is a positive, I guess. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think Bitcoin's going to make it to 150,000 this cycle, or do we get fooled for the first time in any cycle and see a bad October, bad November? Bitcoin has already topped out. Is that what you think? We'll see in the coming months how things unfold. Now I do want to take a look at BTBT. It's having a fantastic day. ETH is running a bit today. BTBT announced a convertible offering and saw a little bit of a pullback, but it is recovering now. It is near some of the highs from earlier in September. BTBT broke this downtrend it was in, and once it did that, we did see a bit of a reaction, started moving upwards in the upward direction after breaking out of this resistance it was stuck in. Now, in my opinion, it's a matter of BTBT breaking 358 area. If we can break that, we can head to our recent highs here around $4, break the psychological 4 area here, and then head towards this 450 zone, which is a previous resistance at times. Resistance there, we dropped, it saw a reaction. We couldn't hold it, it saw a reaction. I do think 450 isn't far away if we can continue to see Bitcoin move up, which means Ethereum will move up. BTBT is a ETH treasury company, and I do expect a good move from them as we end this cycle, as we see alt season finish off. I do think we're going to see some good moves from BTBT. It did see a golden cross in late August here, and now it is again over both its 50 MA and its 200 MA. Now, what BTBT really needs is a move from Ethereum. What's Ethereum been doing? Well, Ethereum's up about 4.5% today. It is heading towards its 50 MA. I think this is the next zone that we're either going to reject and pull back a bit, or we're going to break out and we're going to head towards our all-time highs here. This is all-time highs territory. And what ETH has been doing recently, it has, until recently, it was consolidating in between its cycle peaks. These are the peaks that we saw this cycle, and in between its all-time high. This is the all-time high from 2021. It's been basically consolidating in between there until it finally broke that 50 MA, sold off a bit, kind of when Bitcoin was selling off. But now it has broken back into this zone in between its all-time high and cycle highs. It is heading towards the 50 MA. We need to clear this 50 MA. If we can break over it, we will get a good reaction in my opinion. And then we're knocking on all-time highs door. You did see that reaction on the break of the 50 MA. But if we can see ETH break out to new all-time highs, I do think that'll bring some excitement for something like BTBT. Of course, SharpLink Gaming, another ETH play. BMNR. Typically what we see on a peak year for Bitcoin for alts is a nice run from alts, a run from Bitcoin as well. Usually crypto ends on a strong note to end the year on a peak year, which this is. 2025 is a peak year. But how are you guys feeling this week? How are you feeling this month? This is a brand new month here. Get ready for some Bitcoin mining updates. They usually come out, anywhere from the 1st to the 5th regarding CleanSpark, Iron, Riot, Mara. We might see some new AI announcements bringing in more hype. There has been a lot of excitement in terms of AI. So any of these companies announcing massive GPU purchases, expansion of their infrastructure for AI, in my opinion, you want to look at those for a pop. But yeah, let me know what you guys have been looking at lately. How are you feeling about the end of this year? Thanks as always for watching, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.